I'll be the guy. The offense is obviously going to be fun to watch. That play, the give and go, I think Luka smiled because he's like, you think I'm giving that back to you? You're crazy. I'm shooting that shot. And be careful because you know that's coming. That end of the floor is one thing. It's the other end of the floor where I'm going to be curious that over time that you're going to see LeBron James smile turn to what we've seen him do with certain teammates in his past, where he gives them that look. And we all know the look that LeBron gives. That's the look that means we got problems. Fit in or fit out, which of course is something that he once famously said to a teammate. And that is something that I think we have to talk about. Because look at this roster right now. They don't have size. They're going to have to find some. They're going to try, but everybody in the league's trying to find some. But then after that, what do you got? Gabe Vincent, Jarrett Vanderbilt, you got Austin Reeves. He's nice, but he also needs the ball. Guess who's not getting the ball in that equation? Austin Reeves. What does he become? Is he a spacer? Is that what he becomes now? There's a lot of things about this roster that feels clunky. That's why this doesn't feel like an immediate impact kind of deal. This does feel like a future. Now, future doesn't just mean 5 years from now. Future means next season, which puts more pressure on Rob Pelinka this offseason to make sure this works. There's a lot they can do with Luka to get him in a gym, get him Ozempic, whatever it's going to take to get him tight.
Oh, my God.
But when it comes to how things work on the court, you've got to get the right pieces around them. They've got to get bigger. They've got to get more three-point shooting. That's how you build around these two guys.
Wendy.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I am giving the Lakers a pass on what happens this season, especially if they're not able to get a significant center on Thursday. That doesn't mean I don't think they're going to accomplish stuff. They're in position to get, right now, they're tied in the loss column with Denver for the last home court seed in the Western Conference. They've won 9 out of 11 games. We haven't shown anything about Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is playing the best basketball of his career. Yeah. I think it'll actually more impact Austin Reeves than it will LeBron because he needs the ball as well. When they traded for Luka, they reset their timeline. The Lakers' timeline for Luka is the next decade. The LeBron part of it may only be a year or two. I'm looking at this through Luka's lens. If they don't win with LeBron and LeBron retires after next season or goes somewhere else, okay, then they got to build around Luka. I want to be clear because I know we're used to the star players coming together and saying, okay, now they're ready to win. That's not the case here. I want to watch it. I'm very excited to see the two of them play together. I think it's going to be great television. I expect them to be in the playoffs and put together something. But the Lakers have to retrofit their roster. They didn't have an 18-month plan to get Luka Doncic. This literally fell in their lap. Rob Pelinka yesterday, in one of the lines of the year, was talking about how he doesn't have a magic wand when it comes to getting a center. I had people in the league text me, the hell he doesn't have a magic wand. Luka Doncic just arrived in his lap. So I will say that I'm giving the Lakers a pass. Like what Alan has said, their roster is flawed. You're darn right their roster is flawed. They did not plan for this. It occurred to them. So there's going to be a desire to break them down and to criticize them, and that will, I'm sure, happen. But just remember the framework here, that this was not something that was all put together. This wasn't like the Miami Heat in 2010 where they put it together in the summer and brought it forth. This is something that's on the fly, guys.
Yeah, I get it. Luka Doncic drops in your lap. You drop any other plan you have and you do it. No one's questioning that for a minute. He's ridiculously good and ridiculously young. The part of it I keep coming back to when Wendy said it earlier, we live in this assumption, because we've been following sports all our lives, that LeBron at 40 has to be very, very, very close to the end. And Wendy said it earlier, Monica, and you, Monica, and Alan both saw him at the Garden on Saturday night. If you didn't know how old he was, how old would you think he was? Like, watching him play. So do you think, Monica, he may have more than a year or two left?
Here's my thing. I don't think LeBron is going to limp out when he decides to go, right? Like, and none of us are privy to the timeline. Does he look like he could have more than 2 years left? Sure. But for someone who has accomplished so much and has so much more to accomplish away from the court, we can't put him in a box. No one puts baby in a box, right? But I don't think he's going to limp out. So I'm not necessarily looking for the clues of LeBron being the 8th man off the bench or whatever. Like, I think it's going to be an internal clock for himself. That's like, all right, I've done everything I set out to do. And I don't know exactly what is going to qualify as him reaching that point.
Yeah, I do think that the way he's playing, he's surprising even himself. And you know what else sets up, too, for the future is, think about his son, Bronny's on this team. Now he's got Luka as a teammate going forward, so things are setting up well for Bronny as well. He's got to feel better about the future. He could be there a long time. But for LeBron, it is about right now. They've got to think about how they're building, though. Do they build for right now championship, or do they build for future? because you got to keep those assets.
And they have to keep Luka too. And Wendy brought that up the day this trade happened. Luka has options in his, he's not signed for all this decade we're talking about. He has to decide he wants that too. All right, everyone stay where you are.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.